Alright guys, welcome to Coy Ridge Ranch. Today's day 2 working on the tractor. I just got off one bracket where the old lights were mounted, so I'm probably going to have to either grind that other side off like I just did there, then that was all stripped and wouldn't turn, or I may be able to back it off. We'll check that and get these light brackets back to a nicer 90-degree angle. We'll get that done, and then measure out for the light bar, or the pod lights that are going to be up on top. Measure that out, cut the bracket, and we'll see if we can do a bit of body work. I was banging here, just trying to get this a little smoother flat, but we'll see what we can do today. So let's get started on the on that mount. See if we can loosen it up some with the wrench. Nope. Grinder time. There, we got that off. Take a wire brush, clean that up, and then put them back on. As you can see, the last owners of this actually didn't have this side fastened at all, this cab, because it isn't the proper cab for it. So you can see it just moves around. So the plan is for this, I've removed this door. This door isn't actually going to stay on here. I'm going to frame it in and just make this a wall. The reason why is because you have all the hydraulic lines, the e-brake, everything. It's just super hard to get out of the side. So I will probably back this up and frame, make a brace off either the floor or the frame, and then just panel this in and probably use the factory window in that door to fill in that space. And then on the other side, on this side, you can see they had it welded there, and I'm assuming that was a replacement hinge, but same thing. And also the issue is, you can see where the hood hinge point is, where the window sticks out, so the hood actually doesn't go the whole way. So hopefully I'll be able to cinch it back enough where I can partly open the hood majority of the way. Right a bit there. Bring it right up to the dash, and that's also less airflow coming in, because you can see the great big gap there, whereas if it's right up there, there's only a little bit. I'll probably put a gasket or something around there to keep the air from coming in. So we'll work on those light bar mounts first, and then I'll probably start figuring out my distance for the door and how much I have to bring back, and then make a list of steel that I'm going to need to come off that, down, and then into the frame or floor and bolt it all together. All right, so I put this rack up here. This used to be on my car as a front bumper. I'm thinking of putting possibly 3 lights in here, those great big LED ones. I got it on those other brackets right now. Obviously I'm going to cut off this extra piece, and I also brought the cab back to where I want it. As you can see, it's back just below the hinge point on the hood. In the cab, not a good spot for that grease nipple on the steering wheel, but we'll figure that out later. We'll probably just put a 45 on that. I just got tied back with a ratchet strap. So we'll probably cut right here off and bring a piece of tubing down. Still not sure really where to go under here, because there's really no frame unless I want to go down to this bar here. So I'm thinking if I bring it down and tie it into the floor and maybe run another strip over just to support it, should be good enough for that. And then on the driver's side, if we go around, same idea. You can see what I have to climb through right now. So we'll try to chop that off right there. We also have to notch this out because it's hitting here, so where they previously cut, we'll cut it down. And do the exact same thing, bring it down, the piece of tube down, probably hook up into this because you can see it's kind of loose, and tie it into that point right there. Get that done with. And then that should open that opening up at least 12 inches. I'm hoping I don't have to cut any of this fender out. Looks like they did on the other side. They cut it to probably right about there. Hoping I don't have to, but I may have to trim it up some, so I may have to take off a few inches just to make it easier to climb in and out. But otherwise the doorway, it's about 18 inches wide. As you can see, I got that just held on with the clamps. So we'll see what you guys think. I'm not going to bolt that right up right yet, but if you think I should keep it like that, or either run a piece of tubing across the where this bottom bar is and then put all 4 lights on there. I just had this line around and it will work, but whatever you guys think. If you guys think it'd look better with just a bar and the 4 lights, let me know, because it'll be probably another week or so before I get this all mounted and bolted up, so that can be the last thing I do. So let me know what you think of that idea. But right now I'm probably gonna get started. The master kill switch came in, so I'm gonna figure out where on the dash I want to install it. Preferably somewhere's around here, because I already have the cables right here that I can run to it, so it's going to be somewhere close, and it's fairly big too. It's chunky, so I wish I had a plate. I'd plate that off and then mount it right here. I'll have to see what I got in the shed for steel, but otherwise we may have to take one of these old lights out and put it in there. So we'll get to doing that. Here's the new battery kill switch. As you can see, it's quite large. I'm sure there's smaller ones, but this is one off Amazon. So I'm going to install this, but I'm also thinking about these lights here. All these lights I was just going to heat shrink them all, like wire them straight up without any connectors. But I got thinking, I'm planning on painting this cab probably in the summer. I'm not going to do it now, that's wintertime. But to make it easy and then I don't have to recut, I think I'm going to do quick connect, put connections on all these cables, because I got all these ones, all these, and the ones I already installed on the cab, like these ones over here. So I think I'm going to put the quick connections on all them, and then this way in the springtime when I do go to paint, I can just unpin and pull them off. I don't have to be cutting all these wires. So I'll probably do that now before I install this, just so I can have it done, because I'm going to see if I can put these on today or possibly tomorrow. We'll see. Alright, so I got all the lighting wired up with the plugs. So each one of these have that style end. So I got the 4 spots, the 2 marker for the front, the 4 tail lights with these 2, and then the 4, 2 for the side, 2 for the back. So they're all wired up. We just had some wires show up so I can start the harness going the inside to hook up the female connectors. But and then I was gonna get to this, but I'm gonna hold off until I get all this stuff put in. But right now I'm gonna jump up on the roof of the tractor. I got 3 holes I want to weld in, and then once I get that, I can start the wiring harness, put all this stuff, and start connections, and then I can do the master power. So we'll get started on welding. So we're up on the roof now. I got 5 holes up here, 6 technically. But I'm going to be keeping these 2 because I need to do a CB antenna. So I need one for the actual bolt, the CB, one for the power. And I'm also keeping one for the FM. So I'll be keeping these 3, and then I'll be welding up that one, and that one. And you can see there, I put a sheet of aluminum with a magnet underneath to hopefully keep the weld to fill the hole in. We'll see how good it works. But I'll get grinding these down, put my ground magnet on, and start welding them up. Alright, throw the magnet on. There. As you can see, it's not too bad. Filled in, I'll grind it down smooth. Now I have to go under, take the aluminum, and put it on the other. We'll start off with that hole, and then weld it up. Alright, let's grind these down, and hopefully there's no holes in it. If there is, we'll just touch them up with the welder again and grind them down. Not too bad. There's a tiny little pinhole, right, not pinhole I guess, but a little divot where the weld didn't fill in, but no holes. So that's good. Now that that's done, we still have our 2 holes for the CB and the FM radio. And here, if you're wondering how I was able to do it, I just put some magnets. Try to do it without dropping them. Some magnets with a little bit of thin sheet aluminum, and it just kept the weld from dropping down. The seat I didn't really care about anyways, it's getting replaced, but keep it from burning or causing a fire. So you can see that worked out pretty well. There's the first hole I welded there, and there's number 2 and 3. So they're not fully filled in, but enough to keep the roof from leaking. So that's all the holes in the roof now. They're patched. So now I can start running wiring and put the piece of plywood that runs this section here where all the wiring's gonna be tucked up in. I can put that in too. So now it's time to start making a harness. And for those asking what welder I'm using, this is just a Mastercraft flux core welder. They're fairly cheap. They go on sale all the time. And just to make life easier too, if you do get a welder, I'd recommend getting one of the magnets. What I did is bolted it in the claw where the ground is. So not only does it ground, if you have to hook it to something like this, you can also magnet. Because sometimes you're on a flat surface, you can't get the claw on. So if you do this, you can still hook the claw into something and magnet at the same time. Just a little tip. All right, guys, I got the antenna on up there. So it's all wires there, the 2 holes for the CB. You can see all the other wires all hanging out. So in the next video, I'm going to take this cable, hook them all up, make my harness, probably put the top piece of plywood that's going to hold the instrument panel on this side and hide all the wiring up top. We'll get that ran and get it brought down and hooked up to the master kill switch. And then the last thing, hopefully, I'll just connect the positive up. So hopefully in the next video, we'll have the wiring harness done and get everything done up. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video.